everyone, CPO here, and in this video I'm going to do what I did with the prior video, which was the QuirkLogic paper. That's this guy here, and that is just a notation of the pros and cons, essentially the things I noted and whether or not I felt like they were positive or negative or didn't care about them. This is as it relates to me, so these things may not matter to you, but I thought as I go through and review these to decide if they're devices that that I want to use or not. I'm making notes, and I figured maybe you would be interested in seeing what I came up with. Again, this is very subjective. Some of these things you're not going to care about. There's going to be a lot of functionality that isn't covered in this because I don't care about those things. You know, my deep guide, Voya does a YouTube channel where he goes through these in great detail. Morning Coach is another one I've mentioned before. Good e-reader. They all do sort of more in-depth reviews. This is not a review. This is just me going through my notes of things. I will try and do it fast, but it's going to be a long video, and I will try and show you examples where I can. So let's just get started. This is the Boox Note Air from Onyx, and I've had this for a little while. It was the first device I got. I got it, then I got the Remarkable One, then I got the QuirkLogic paper. Now I'm back to this. And oddly enough, it's growing on me, and I have a lot more up arrows than down arrows, and that was surprising to me as well. So the writing feel, though, let's just get started. Very glassy. This is a glass surface. It does come with a screen protector, which is nearly impossible for anybody to put on without bubbles or dust trapped in it. And I don't think it changes the feel that much. So I think that there are ways to improve the writing feel, but by default, especially with this default pen, it's very glassy, maybe even like iPad-ish in feel. So that's a negative right off the bat, especially coming from the Remarkable and the in the paper, where they're just outstanding paper feel. Ability to try different pens. It does come with this default pen, but you can use the Remarkable pen, for example. There's a bunch of aftermarket pens that you can get for it, and the ability to try out different nibs. So that's nice. Also, it does not come with a pen that has a built-in eraser, but it is compatible with those pens. So if you get a pen that has an eraser, either on the back or via a button, it would work. So yeah, that's good. It does have a backlight. I have the backlight on right now at a very low level. It does make a difference to me in low light when I'm sitting on the couch or sitting on the bed and I want to make some notes or something. A little bit of backlight really helps a lot. Not a deal breaker for me, but since it has it, it's definitely a positive. I wouldn't not buy a device because it didn't have a backlight. I wish they all did have backlights though, so just to be fair. It has a native ebook and PDF reader. By default, it comes with Neo Reader. It's a pretty good device. You can also add others, such as KO Reader, or you can sideload APKs or go get other readers from the Google Play Store. So that is really nice. You don't have to hack it. It has really good ebook and PDF reading capabilities built in. The handwriting recognition works offline. So by the way, I use this entirely as an offline device. My Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are disconnected. I have no desire to use those unless I need to like quickly go get something from the internet or whatever. But I really, I don't even have a Onyx account. I'm not syncing to the cloud. I'm not doing any of that stuff. This is completely for offline use, but it has such great offline backup capabilities and file transfer capabilities that it works really well. What I was concerned about was whether or not handwriting recognition would work offline, and it does, and it actually worked really well. Let me get to a section here. So, you know, I can type in here and then just quickly come in here with recognition and convert that to handwriting. That works really well, but that's not where it ends. How I use this more often than not is for filling out things where I would normally type text. So let's say I wanted to change the name of this notebook. Instead of using a standard keyboard, I can come in here and use handwriting. I can select this and I can delete things. And I can use, oops, that's really horrible. So I didn't like that. I can just back that out of there. Let's just go back here, and then let's just call this notes, and then it's going to type that in there for me and hit OK. So I like to use that, including searches. I can come up here and for the search box, you know, I can type in notes and it will search for notes for me, and I don't even have to bring out the keyboard. And yeah, it'll find even handwritten notes that it converts. So when it searches, it converts it to text, searches it, and then moves on. So it'll find handwriting in there. So handwriting recognition has been really good. It's not perfect, but it does work really well. And yeah, I've been super happy. So I use the handwriting for a lot of other stuff than just writing, which is cool. It feels fragile and slippery. I don't like the feel of this device. It is my least favorite device. It feels, yeah, like a really big fragile glass tile. It's super slippery. I just don't like it. Yeah, I mean, I like the Remarkable, even though this is the Remarkable one, it's largely plastic. It feels more like a notebook instead of a glass tablet. The paper is amazing. Like, I don't know, I like the way it feels the most, but I hate everything else about about it right now, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't like the way it feels. If I keep this, I'll probably put some sort of a non-stick surface on the back to give it some grip. But that's definitely a downside for me. Split screen, I have it as a net neutral because I don't know if I care that much, but you can quickly go into split screens mode, and then you can add other PDFs, or you can add other apps. Like if I wanted to quickly run a calculator here and I was doing some things, and you know, 50 times 50, I can come in here and do that while I have this up and running. Like I said, I don't know how much I care about that right now, but I do like the fact that it comes with it. It has great erasing options. As far as erasing, you can choose to do a mobile eraser, which is basically like a pen eraser. You can erase parts of a stroke. You have a stroke eraser, you have an area eraser, you have current layer or all layers. So in the mobile eraser, one thing I really like is, you know, let me draw something first, I guess. I can draw this triangle, and then if I want to just erase parts of the triangle, I can do that, right? So I like that. If I want to erase strokes, I can come in here and just knock out strokes. And yeah, area eraser, same thing. I come in here and then I choose an area, and then it will erase it. So alternative to that, you can also come in here with the lasso tool and pick something. Like, I guess I'm going to erase glassy right there. And then I can just hit delete. And the difference is the lasso tool will kind of select what it thinks is complete strokes. Whereas the area eraser will literally, like, if I lasso this, it's going to try and recognize and grab the entire S. Let me use the back button here. But if I use the stroke eraser, or the area eraser here, I can literally come in and cut that S in half. So it does give you a lot of options for erasing. Support for layers. Yes, you can have up to 5 layers. Very nice. Easy to add layers, and then you can hide and show them and delete them at your will. So that is super nice. Easy templates, same thing. It's easy to come in here and change templates. You can have local templates, which is just a folder on your device. You can have PDFs or image files, and then you can add those. Like if I wanted to make my Christmas service notes a template, like, it's going to be really messy. I wouldn't want to do that, obviously. But we can see like what that could look like. So here it is. But you can also have different templates for different pages, which is also kind of cool. So let me change this template back to my built-in grid point, which is my favorite template. So where are we at here? Notebook stored in the SQL database. I have that as a downside just because it's not super user-friendly for most people. Although you do have the ability to back it up easily, and you also have the ability to save those automatically as PDFs. So if I come over here into the settings, I have automatically generate PDF files after exiting Notepad. So every time I exit a Notepad, it will create a PDF. Otherwise, I can back up and restore my entire database, which is kind of nice. That's a nice feature. But if I want to go in and look at storage, notes, life, tablet notes, books notes, like this is the PDF of the document I'm working on right now, current to the stuff that I've edited to it. So it is automatically creating PDFs, but only because I checked that. So yeah. So you do have file system access, as I just showed you. I can go through and navigate the file system both from a computer connected with USB cable or directly. I like that. You have the ability to pen protect. It's actually a passcode, but it's only in a system account settings. Nope. I don't even have an account. I never can remember where to find this. More settings. There we go. Screen lock settings. So this is not encrypted device. It only sets basically a screen lock, and so you have to use the pin code to get back in the device if you have set one. Searchable notes offline. Again, this works amazingly well. Like I can come in here, type in easy. I'm looking for that word somewhere in my notebook. Yeah, there it is right there, easy. So I am not connected to the internet. It does this very, very well. So I'm super happy by how that works. Including, by the way, you can go back to your library and you can choose to search either by content or titles or current folder or all folders. So if I wanted to go dig through all of my notes for content and I'm looking for the word, pen, it will go through and look through everything and find. I'm going to cancel that because it's going to take a while. Now I don't have to use handwriting to enter this. I can put it on a regular keyboard. But to me, it's a lot faster actually to just write the word pen. And because I have that ability, I tend to want to use it. So yeah, that works great for me. Drawing shapes that are useful. Yes, this is one of my complaints about the paper is the shapes weren't useful. This has the ability to draw shapes, lines, triangles, circles, and squares. And the cool thing is once you select that up, you can draw a square in whatever aspect ratio you want. Or if I wanted to draw a circle around that word, I can do that, and I like that a lot. So that's a nice feature. Can use Bluetooth peripherals. I don't really use them, but you do have Bluetooth ability to have keyboards, wireless headset, whatever. Can load additional Android apps. So there's an app store here, which I'm not connected to the internet. You could go to, which is their sort of Onyx app store. Or you can enable the Google Play Store and then go download apps there, or you could sideload APKs directly. So lots of options there. Does have a pressure sensitive pen, so not all of the pen choices are pressure sensitive. This first pen is, and the brush pen is. The ballpoint pen is not, the pencil is, and the marker pen, I don't think that is. I don't remember actually. It might be. That's kind of the highlighter. But like for a pencil, I can lightly draw, or I can push down and get a darker line. So, and it really does look like a pencil. It's kind of impressive. I usually use the ballpoint pen with no pressure sensitivity, because then I can just lightly write and it gets me the full stroke. Precision with pen selection. Oh, yeah. So you have the lasso tool here, and I can come in here and with precision select things, and and I can move them around. I can rotate them. I can skew them. Like, so you've got a lot of options, and the ability to, with precision, like select up text and manipulate it, move it around, all of that stuff. I like that. So a use case of how I might use that is here. Let's say my daily task list here. I have tasks, appointments, and logging. Let's say I want to make more room to add some appointments. I can come in here, select that, and then just move it down a little bit, which gives me some more, which gives me some more room, right? So on a regular notebook, you run out of room, so you have to leave yourself room. Here I've got some options, and if I want to like move these somewhere else, like I can just grab them and then move them out of the way. Like, so I think that's cool. You do have manual refresh. I can come in here and refresh the screen if there's some artifacting, which I don't really have happen very often. Handwriting is an input for text. I've shown you that. Adjustable contrast. I can come in here and adjust the contrast to my liking. I have mine set pretty low for reading. I have an online magazine, which the higher contrast, it's got text over picture, and this gives me a better view of that. So you can adjust that on the fly. Hardly noticeable pen latency. Like, I don't really notice it, so it's not even worth trying to test. Ability to quickly integrate text. You can come in here and add text. So just like that, whether you type it or manually enter it, I can adjust the size, the font, all of that stuff, the position, and then boom, there I go. Now I've got text up there, and I like to use that as seen here for titles, so that when I go into page sorter view, I can quickly see titles or dates or things like that. Pinch zoom and oh, I missed one. Pinch zoom, precision zoom. So yeah, pinch to zoom is really nice, and you can get really close, 1600%. I can come in here, let's get a small pen, draw a smiley face and some ears there, and then I can go right back. I don't even remember where that was now. Where was that? I don't remember which E I picked to draw on. Anyway, somewhere in there is one. But you have the ability to zoom in to any level you want. You can move around pretty easily. Once you're in there, you can see a map of where you're at. The other thing you can do is a select zoom, which is nice. So if I come in here and I'm like, I want to zoom in on this word right here, pen, it will zoom in for me. And then I can continue to dig in a little bit deeper. But that selection to zoom is also super helpful. Easily switching between notes. So I'm in here. There's a shortcut here to select notes. So I can have recent notes by default, all of my local notes, or notes associated with PDF books, reading notes they call them. So if I bounce back and forth between like my daily planner and my notes or meeting notes, I can go back and forth there. It's kind of nice. Dockable, floatable, hideable tools. So I have my toolbar here. I can maximize the screen, float it around. I can completely hide it out of the way. I can adjust what's in here, what's not, by editing here, customize the toolbar. So yeah, you've got a lot of options there. So I like that. And it doesn't cover up, the toolbar doesn't cover up the text. When you maximize it, it just pushes it, and then it pushes it out of the way when you put it back there. It's a bit of a learning curve. That's the downside, right? A lot of people don't have the time, energy, effort, desire to learn a complicated device like this. So sometimes just set and forget it, simple. Remarkable is a great use case for that. You basically just use it. There's not a lot to try and figure out. It works. OTG, it's got the ability to have USB on the go, which means I can plug in things like like this adapter for a card reader or other USB peripherals. So yeah, I like that. It recognizes whatever I plug in. Audio, it does have audio. I don't use it, but if you have like audiobooks or something like that, you can use that with Bluetooth headphones, or it's got little speakers here if you're really wanting to do that. It's a fingerprint magnet. That's a negative. Like, it collects fingerprints like crazy. This is horrible. So I don't have particularly greasy fingers, but I leave fingerprints all over this thing, and it drives me nuts. So I'm constantly wiping it down. Next page. Where's our next page of notes? There they are. You get weird search symbols, which is a negative, but it's kind of, I think there's some potential for it to be really cool, and that is here. You have a triangle you can search for, a square, a star, a whatever this is, and an asterisk. It looks like it's searching the document for it, but I don't know really how it works. So there, I did a test of these different ones in this notebook. It found the asterisk. It's not finding any of the other ones, even when drawn with the shapes. So the asterisk one works, none of the others do. But what that means is you could go in here and you'd be like, this is a really important note. Let me select my pen. Oh, I get a 4. And I like that I can disable touch because I have a tendency to have problems with that. So if I want to asterisk that one, then later on go back and search, be like, hey, where's that important note that I made? There it is, weird search symbols. So that is kind of interesting. I have it as a net neutral because it's not fully functional, but I think it could potentially be super valuable. Magnetic pen. I really like this magnetic pen, how that works. A lot of people complain that it won't hold very well with the device when you shake it. I honestly don't think that that's how it was designed. I think it was designed for this, like keeping them together as a unit on a desk. I can do that here. But yeah, I like that, how it snaps to it when it gets close, as opposed to like the Remarkable One, where it's always like rolling away, the pen's gone. And this one, the pen just sort of stays with the device. The device is so slippery, it leaves and takes the pen with it. But yeah, I do like that. And the ability, I'll talk about this later, to auto sleep and wake. So if you put the pen down here, whether on top of that, it will put it to sleep, or it will wake when you remove the pen, or you can slide it right next to it, and it will do the same thing. It will sleep it, and then you remove it and it will wake it. So I kind of like that. I don't know if that was intended behavior, but it works well. Easily disable touch, which I already told you, I have a tendency sometimes to accidentally like zoom myself or whatever. And so disabling touch, it's quick and easy. And then you still have navigation buttons here for switching through pages. And it does work like still for menu selection. So it just disables touch within the document, which I like. One of the downsides is the zoom position carries with switches. So for example, oops, I disabled touch. So let me go back there. And let's say I'm going to zoom in on this document, and then I'm going to switch to another one. Let's go to Christmas 2020. Let's do that one. I don't think there's any content in here actually, but you can see based on the dots on the template that it is already really zoomed in, right? So it kept the zoom level that I had in the other document. So I don't know why it does that. That seems odd to me. I don't like it. And if you hide a layer, it will revert the zoom. All right, so I've got this page screenshot from the browser. Let's say I want to trace this, and I'm going to work on this eyeball. So I'm going to come in here, and I can zoom in, and I can go ahead and create a new layer. And you see what it did? It zoomed back my layer. So anytime you mess with layers, it reverts the zoom. So now I've got a layer, and I'm on this second layer, which is active, and I'm going to come in here with a pencil, and I'm just going to start trying to trace on this. This is going to be a horrible tracing job, but let's say I want to see like how I'm doing. I want to hide that back layer, but it reverts the zoom. So then I got to zoom back in. Like, I wish it would hold the zoom level with the ability to hide and show layers, so you didn't have to keep doing that. Like, I wanted to be able to like turn that on and off at the zoom level I was working, but it doesn't work that way. So you can't have everything in life, apparently. Holding on the button continues, this is the backspace button to execute, which this is a small but mighty feature for me, and it's not always the case. Oops, I don't want to do that. But let's say I wanted to add in some text, and I'm typing, and I don't like what I have written there. It's horrible. A lot of these touch keyboards, you have to like touch, 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 touch to get rid of, right? So what I found, I'll move this down here so we can see it. My handwriting, I'm intentionally making it as bad as I possibly can. And then I'm just gonna keep going. And I'm like, yeah, none of that makes any sense to anybody. I can hold that down and just zip backspace. Like it'll just keep backspacing as it goes, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I like the ability to do that. It comes in handy for me all the time when I make bad mistakes in typing. Let's see. You can have different templates in one notebook. So each page can have its own template, which is kind of nice in the same notebook. It's not easy to import other notes. I'm still working out. I'm trying to migrate a bunch of PDF documents in a structure from the Remarkable. Because this is held in a database, getting those PDF into the database isn't really working easily. I can add them as templates, but then you have to keep the files in the templates folder forever. Otherwise, they disappear. So I'm still working on that. Do not like how difficult that is. I don't like the list mode structure. So if I come back here and I look at list mode, as a matter of fact, let's go back to my, my main screen here. I have, and this is list mode here, right? I have things numerically assigned, but it goes back and forth. Like I want a list that just shows me everything in one row instead of having two columns. So I don't like that. This is cover mode. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that's even easier to read than in list mode, where it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, so I would normally use list mode, but for this purposes, I think cover mode actually works better for me. We're almost done here. The calendar app is actually kind of cool. So I wasn't expecting to care about this calendar memo, but it will show you the notes and if you have any readings on the day that it happened. So if you wanted to go bounce around, like I knew I took some notes, it was on the Wednesday the 2nd, you can see like what things took place in on what day. That's kind of cool. So I didn't really think I was going to care about that, like I said, but it turns out it's kind of cool. Screen protector, dumb. Like the screen protector that comes with it is almost impossible to install without bubbles or captured dust particles. It is super staticky, and I don't think it changes the feel at all. Like I don't notice that big of a difference with the pen feel. So get a better screen protector if you're going to do this. Saving depends on how you leave the document. So you can discreetly save things. So you can see there, I've got the smiley face. I'll come in here and add a head around it and then jump out to this document, right? So now you can see the thumbnail doesn't have the head on it, even though it's in the document. But if I hit save, and do the same process, I'm just kind of bouncing around here. Still nothing. But if I use this back arrow, that will update the thumbnail. So just weird things I've seen since I've been using this. That's funny. I have calendar app in here twice. I have some of these things replicated, so it was probably time to stop because I was repeating things. I already talked about importing from other systems, easy backup restore, easy disable touch, calendar memo, searching is amazing, auto sleep and wake. I covered all this stuff, guys. Look, that's it. Those are my notes on the Boox Note Air. There's enough things that I like about it that keeps me coming back to it, even though I really, like, as a device, I don't know how I feel about it physically, but the functionality has been really good. So I do have a Boox Max 3 coming, and I will try that against this and compare it and see if I like it better than this one. That one does have a fingerprint reader, so I'm kind of curious about that. But yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.